Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rainy Nights, the segment of my YouTube channel where I interview other motor vloggers and motorcycle personalities. If you haven't been here before, I am Rainy Rider. I ride a 2019 BMW Grand America and a 2021 Harley Sportster. Feel free to give the channel a like and a subscribe. Tonight we have Shelby Daytona. Say hello.
Howdy.
Anybody that's ever watched any of these channels knows who Shelby is. 1-800 Shelby. 1-800 Ask Shelby. Because you are a wizard, and you're the guy that Josh obviously looks up to well, just about everything Harley. So, how did that happen? How did you get into motorcycles and working on motorcycles?
Well, I started with a 1984 Suzuki DS80 when I was 8 years old. That I raked a bunch of leaves in the backyard, and my dad gave me $200 to go buy.
Nice.
And I've been hooked ever since.
So, where are you from, and what are you riding now?
I grew up in Massachusetts, but I'm originally from Florida. Let's see, what am I riding now? Right now, an 82 Yamaha Seika 750, which actually was my first street bike. My dad gave me back in 1995. Rode it for a couple of years, sold it like a dumbass, and I found one a couple of months ago, and I'm back on my original bike.
Nice. So, that's a very cool bike. You have an iconic bike right behind you, and we'll talk about that one later. So we'll just leave everybody hanging for now.
Yeah.
So, altogether, how many years have you been riding?
Shit. Let's see. 30. Yeah, 32 years, actually.
Right on.
Long ass time.
So at what point did you decide, I will never not have a motorcycle in my life?
I haven't decided that. I don't think I ever will.
All right, so who inspires you to ride?
That'd be my dad and my uncle. Like I said, that 82 Yamaha, that was the first street bike I rode with my dad, and my uncle also had a 80s Yamaha and 80s Honda. When I was real small, they would take me for rides. They'd sit me on a gas tank and haul ass.
Right on. Everybody said I'm quiet. Let me see if I can get my volume to come up a little bit.
How's my volume?
Your volume's good.
Good.
Let me see if I can boost mine a little bit. I'm afraid you guys are going to be stuck with what you got. You can't get mine to go up any. Sorry guys, I'm going to turn him down a little bit, then you guys can turn yours up a little bit. Alright, this is going to balance me and him out, so you guys can just turn your volume up a little bit.
Yeah, do that.
I'll do that. Alright, done. Hopefully that's better. Everybody turn your volumes up.
Yeah, it's your fault, not mine. Loose.
Alright, would you rather a solo ride or a group ride?
Solo. I find group rides are fun once in a while, but I'd rather haul ass.
Right on. So, would you consider yourself, I know you're down in Tampa, it rains a lot, do you consider yourself a fair weather rider or a rough rider? Does the rain even bother
I'm a rough rider. I've ridden in snow in Massachusetts, so
Oh, right.
I'll ride in anything.
If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments. Put my name first where it'll highlight, so I'll know you're talking to me. Okay, so what is your favorite moto meetup?
I want to say vintage at Barber was really cool. That's probably my favorite one I've been to so far. The races were cool, and just being at Barber is just an awesome place to be.
Cool. I have down there, and when I went, they were having, you could get on the track on your bike later that day, but they were having the small car races. So they had the small Porsches out there and the Miatas.
Yeah.
And the Miatas were smoking the Porsches because Porsches were good on the straightaways, but the Miatas would turn to those corners like they weren't even there.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
In straightaways. It was pretty cool races.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
So what is your favorite single moto meetup? Something you've only gone to once and you're like, yeah, that's freaking awesome, but they've never had it again.
I couldn't say. I've been to so many that really couldn't tell you which one would be the iconic one, other than like I said, Barber. Daytona Bike Week, but I mean, that's every year.
All right. So if I was to come visit you where you are and I said, let's go for a ride, where would we ride to and where would we stop and eat?
Probably do something like the Tail of the Gator and probably stop at Hooters.
Right on. Which one? Clearwater?
No, that one's out of the way.
Yeah.
Probably the Tampa one. Either that or Wing House.
So I worked for a guy back in 99, 2000, and he was a confirmed Hooters fan. And
Yep.
we worked around the country. We worked on the road, and anywhere we went, if I was with him, we were going to stop at a Hooters. So on the way, we were actually up in around Memphis. We drove down. We got to Dothan, Alabama. He's like, "Hey man, you hungry?" And I said, "Yeah, we're kind of hungry." He goes, "Well, let's stop." So we stopped at Hooters. We got into Tampa. He's like, "Hey man, you hungry?" And I said, "Yeah, I could probably eat." So we stopped and we ate at Hooters again. then we cut across and went into Clearwater. And he's like, "Are you hungry?" And I was like, "No, not really, man. We just ate like an hour ago." And he goes, "Are you thirsty?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm kind of thirsty." He goes, "Okay, well, let's stop for some iced tea. I know where to get some good iced tea." And we stopped at the Clearwater Hooters. So the dude, if that was the Hooters, he was going to stop. He might as well even ask because you know he's going to stop.
Well, the Clearwater one's the OG.
Right on. So what is the stupidest thing you have ever done on a motorcycle?
Got hit by a drunk driver.
Nice. And then was that on your cross-country trip out of California?
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's so fun.
Nope. And then crashed my Buell.
Let's see who we've got in the chat tonight. We've got... So Casey Robinson was first one in, usually as always. AZDZ Adventures, the married couple. I've interviewed them. The Adventurous Rider, he's always in. It's weird that when I first see that, I always think, oh, it's Carson. Oh yeah, I have to remind myself it's Carson because he changed his name. But yeah, this probably fits him a lot better, the new name.
Yeah.
And
I like it better.
Howard the Dave is in. JD and the Queens is in. Everybody say hi to Ashley.
Ashley.
And then Sentinel's in. So
What's up, man?
awesome. Got a good crew out tonight. So what has been your scariest moment on a bike? I know you just said when you got hit, but was that actually your scariest moment or?
No, scariest moment I want to say was a track day I did a few years ago where I almost lost the front of my TL because it decided to, whiskey throttle and pick the front end up in the middle of a corner, and I almost went in the woods. And that was doing about 130.
And where was this at?
Jennings GP in Northern Florida.
Jeez, so do you make a lot of track days?
I try to. I haven't been since, it's been a couple years since my accident and whatnot. I haven't been back yet, but I used to go twice a year.
Right on.
There used to be 2 tracks you could go to down here, but they closed down the Rosso, so there's only one now.
Do you have leathers for that, or you just race it in your...
Nope, full leather suit, gloves, boots, all that. You need it all.
Right on.
My best friend that moved down here first and got me to move down here, he's actually a coach for a couple of different organizations that run track days. And he is fast. I think I'm fast. He's fast.
And what's his name?
Jeff Bourget.
Right on.
You can find him on YouTube. It's called JB Razor. He does some track day videos and coaching on there.
Okay. Is he any relationship to the Bourgets out of where they are, Massachusetts or the bike builders?
No. But same name.
Same name though. All right.
Yeah. No relation.
Anybody's got any questions, throw them down in the comments. I know y'all got some questions for him. He's the background guy in probably most of the videos. Last video you made of yourself was you were actually frisbee golfing.
Yep.
So when are you going to get back into videos?
When I get another camera. I really don't have time to do it, time to edit and all that other stuff. It's Saturday. I'm still here at the shop after 6. I'm always. Nope, it's not. It's that thing's fault.
We'll get into that one in a minute. Dave Howard wants to know, what is your favorite bike to work on? Shelby head, right? No, just kidding.
Mine.
Yours. That's a good answer. So, what has been your most favorite part of riding?
I gotta say track days, honestly. Getting to get out there on a racetrack and push yourself and push the machine and know you know, find your limit. Um, that's the most exciting thing to me.
Oh, oh, Whiskey Chaser's down in the chat too. I missed him. Hey,
What's up, Whiskey?
what up, Chase? So, contrary to that, so what has been the most frustrating part of riding for you?
Having to fix my damn bike.
All right, I guess that's fair. So,
On the side of the road. That's the worst part.
so where's the worst place you've ever broke down?
I-4.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
I had the muffler fall off my Buell at about 100, and I ran it over, and I had to finagle it back on the bike after crushing half of it on the side of I-4 with cars whizzing by me at 100 miles an hour.
So
That was no fun.
Did you ever find out what those the heads were on that motorcycle? I know they had
The
a
heads
stamp
what?
on them. They had a stamp on them that you couldn't.
Oh, yeah. They're American Air Cooled.
Okay.
I believe they're still making radial airplane cylinders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how they started. And back in the day, they ventured into the Harley world and made cylinders for Buells.
Right on. So it's a new year. Well, we're kind of halfway through the new year now. But what plans do you have? You got any builds planned? You got any trips planned? Anything?
Not at the moment. David and Shep really want me to go to Sturgis with them, but I just can't take the time off right now. My only real motorcycle plans are to get my Seiko to the point where I can daily it. I got to tear apart my Buell and have the rear shock rebuilt. Then I got to tear the motor out of my TL1000 because it blew up. And then I got to get my Aprilia RSX 550 running.
Cool. So the bike sitting behind you, will Josh let you talk about that, or is that still going to be a secret? Or tell us all about what you're doing to it. I mean, you're like the mastermind behind the rebuild and the rebirth of this bike. So what's going on with it?
Well, right now we're motors in, trannies in, as you can see. We're mocking up the primary here. Had to bore a hole for the mid-control shifter. It's coming together. You know, did a lot of work to it this week, but I'm gonna have to have some late nights till October to get it finished.
Right on. And October's the deadline. It's got to be ready by the camp out, right?
Yes, it does.
Right on. So what did he end up putting in it? Is it a 131?
124 total performance.
124. Right on.
Yep. And it's gonna get a super trap, 2-in-1, and a Mikuni flat slide.
Right on. I've learned more about flat slides in the last 2 weeks than I ever knew.
They're great. They really are.
Right on. So I gather, yeah, you just put one in the wet spot.
Yeah.
So,
No, the old 92 got the Mikuni, the wet spot got the SNS.
okay. Right on. So if someone were to ask you, what bike should I get? So everybody tells people when they first finish the MSF course, get a 250, whatever. But after that, someone said, come up to you, so I've been riding for 6 months, I'm ready to get a bigger bike that I'm going to keep for a while. What should I get? What would you tell them to get?
What's your end goal?
To ride.
Because to ride, get 1,000.
Okay. Any
Just-
particular brand, kind, configuration?
Nope. Whatever your personal preference is, just get that. Get the big one now. You start on a small bike, you're going to grow out of it in 6 months. Just get the big bike and learn how to ride it.
So,
I started out on a 750. I rock it. Chop cat.
always got to have a shop cat. Oh, that's a mean looking shop cat. No cat's mean, right?
No, he's a sweetheart.
So, if you could go anywhere on a bike today, start anywhere and ride to anywhere, where would you start from and where would you go? And what bike would you take?
I would start here and I would go back to California because I want to do the PCH. And what would I ride there? Probably like a road glide.
Right on. I do like the Road Glide Unlimited. It is my favorite Harley.
Yeah.
I should probably get one day. So the Adventurous Rider wants to know, on a 1995 Evo 1200 Sportster, can I use the stock Sportster 1200 heads on an SNS 1250 kit?
You can.
Okay.
While they're off, you might as well have them ported and polished.
There you go, Carson. Get her done. So here's, I know this is going to be a broad question, or broad answer with a lot of answers. Have you inspired anyone to ride or wrench on their own bikes?
Oh, yeah. Hundreds of you.
Anyone that knows the number, 1-800-SHELBY.
It's not a real thing yet.
Yet. It should be, though. That should be your new channel, 1-800-SHELBY.
Right? I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah,
Good. Ow!
You have definitely become the guy to call when somebody needs an answer. Whether you like it or not, people, especially Josh, has come to rely on you for a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah. I had to answer the phone that one time at 3 a.m. for him, so I've been stuck with it ever since.
If you could tell a new rider one thing you had to learn the hard way, what would it be?
Wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet. Absolutely. I know Florida doesn't have a helmet law, but won't catch me riding without one. Especially with the nut jobs that drive around Tampa Bay.
Yeah, same here. The last 3 states I've lived in, with the exception of Memphis, or with the exception of Mississippi, had open. There was no requirement for a helmet.
Yeah.
But almost 20 years ago, I had a wreck, and the only reason I had a helmet on was because it was raining, and that one would have killed me. So since then, I don't care how hot it is. I've got a modular now where I can flip it up and I can cool myself off, but I will never get on a bike without a helmet on. It's just,
that could have been my face.
that's a good souvenir. Very much.
That was from my Buell accident. That was my own fault. Ran out of talent.
Yeah, the one time that they say accidents happen, 80% of the accidents happen within a mile of your house. That's one time they did not.
That's the damn truth.
So, all right. What is one thing most people may not know about you?
I almost got married once.
Really? Actually, some of us know that.
Once.
Once. My mom said that about me once. All right. If you could buy any bike right now, but you had to own it for the rest of your life, you wouldn't have to ride it every day, but you would have to own it forever. What bike would it be?
A new Buell Hammerhead.
Hammerhead. Those are the cool bikes. Those new Buells, man, even the ones that are, I know they're not like released to the public yet. There's 2 of them that are, but they look very cool and futuristic looking, especially the off-roader, the ADV one.
Yeah.
Very cool bike. So why that one?
I'm more of a sport bike guy, but I do love a good V-twin. And I love Buells too, so I want to try out one of the new ones.
Right on. So what do you think about their super sport, the FXR-ish bike?
I think it's a cool concept. It is an FXR. End of the day, it's a FXR. It just has a different motor in it, but it's still a V-twin. I think they're onto something there. I think it's going to do well. I know they've gotten I know a bunch of people have already put their $50 in for pre-order. The thing looks like an FXR, and it rips like no FXR ever has. And I'm sure it handles like a dream compared to, all your other modern cruisers out there. Nothing compares to it. It's a high-performance cruiser bike. Basically, the closest thing you can compare it to is like taking the bags and fairing off a King of the Baggers bike, and there you go.
The way it was jacked up, it did look a lot like the King of the Bagger bikes. I did think that when I looked at it. You probably know this because you're a Buell aficionado, but Eric Buell was the reason the FXR came to market. That was actually his design.
Yep.
So kind of fitting that he did not actually steal that FXR design for that new bike. That was actually his design.
Yeah.
What's funny? Just popped into the chat.
Oh shit! What up, bud?
What's up, Josh? Nice to see you.
I don't know if you know this about Eric Buell, but he has another company. He's not working with Buell anymore, but it's another company called Fuel, and they went electric. So Eric Buell is designing electric bikes now.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would ever feel about bike. The one electric bike I rode was kind of cool.
Yeah.
As far as the application of it, I'm not sure. What do you think about that? Do you think electric bikes will actually ever take off and become the mainstay motorcycle?
Well, they're already racing them in MotoGP. There's Stefano Mesa is racing one in the Super Hooligans class here in Moto America. And I've ridden when Flip had the live wire a long time ago. I rode that, and that thing rips. I would rock that back and forth to work every day. That thing was awesome. Yeah. It's the way of the future. End of the day, I'm not going to, throw my ICB engine in the freaking trash. But that's how it's going to end up. Everything's going to go electric. We're all going to be living in the age of Akira.
Akira. Love it. Yep. I know they'd be very good at commuting, like just to getting back and forth to work. But I mean, how do you think that would work on a long distance cross country tour? I did see what's her name, the lady up in St. Louis, the Queen.
Queen Set, yeah.
Tried to ride one all the way from St. Louis up to Milwaukee and had some really close calls where it was almost going to die on her, and she had to put it into a charging station. But,
no thanks. Not on an electric bike, not yet. The infrastructure just isn't ready for that yet.
We're just not there yet. I know the guys took it. So Charlie Borman and Ewan McGregor took one from the tip of South America, but they were set up. I mean, they were basically.
Yeah, they had a freaking diesel truck behind them.
Yep. We're living in a great age. We can have access to both.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just not there yet.
Nope. Someday. That's where it's going.
So what bike would you ride just once, knowing you could never afford it or ride it again? Once you got off of it, you were done. What bike would it be?
H2. Newer H2. Supercharged.
I saw one at the Kawasaki dealer a couple of weeks ago, and I was surprised how short it was. Kind of back to the actual Widowmaker. The first bike I ever wrecked and hurt myself on was a Kawasaki 750 LTD.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like that. It was a very tall bike and very short wheelbase. And it was just so short, it was hard to not put the front wheel up every time I touched the throttle.
Yeah.
And it ended up biting me. That's a bike I should have rode only once, because I probably was better off about it.
See, I know it would bite me because I do hear that supercharger whine, and I just want to hear that all the time, so it'd be pinned all the time.
Right on. But you can
like a Turbo Booster. Those two, between a Turbo Booster and an H2, that would be one and done.
I think it'd be better on a Hayabusa because it's shorter and has a longer wheelbase. Might not flip it entirely over on that one. Might not cut our wheel. All right, so what would you consider as your toxic trait?
Do I have one?
No.
Probably. Do I know what it is? No.
So by toxic trait, I'm not talking about something that people just hate about you, but something that you do all the time that some people might wish you didn't. It could be popping gum, asking questions, talking too much, it could be anything.
Probably I talk not enough. Keep a lot of shit to myself.
Okay. Explain. I'm kidding. All right, so what is the one thing you will never take a road trip without? And it could be more than one thing, but what would you just never leave the home without when you get on a bike?
My helmet.
Back to the helmets.
Helmet and gloves, because money makers.
Absolutely. I actually feel more naked, so I'm not a at guy completely, but there's just things I will not get on a bike without. Helmet, gloves, and boots.
Yep.
Some kind of.
Yeah, I've had road rash on my foot. It's not fun.
No, I've actually. So when I had I had a wreck in 2005, and I T-boned a truck, and I was only going 45 miles an hour, and I had slip-on work boots. Again, they saved my feet from the initial crash.
Yeah.
As soon as I went over the top of that truck, it threw my boots probably 30, 40 feet down the road. For me, they probably threw them further than that. They were further down the road than I was, and I was probably 20, 30 feet from the truck.
Wow.
After I hit it. So I go with Tide boots now, with ankle protection, with foot protection, not steel toe, but the composite, CE2 rated boot. The ones that I gave out at the camp out, that's what I wear.
Yeah.
Because I feel very snug and comfortable, but they're not like stifling.
Yeah.
But absolutely gloves. I feel totally naked without gloves. If I take off without gloves, if I take off without a jacket, I might not stop. If I take off without my gloves, I'll stop with my gloves on because it just feels so weird. And I'm sure you have too. Have you ever punched a piece of gravel or punched a bee going 80 miles an hour?
Yep.
You never forget it.
I had a bee get stuck on my helmet, sting me in the face like 9 times right here one time. Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, I caught a bee right here on my helmet the other day. I had to stop and clean it off when I got home, but it was like I kept looking at the face shield going, if I wouldn't have my helmet on, that probably would have hurt. And it made a huge splash too. Actually, I had to wipe it out, the bug out of my way, the guts out of my way where I could actually see.
Yep.
So anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Throw them down in the comments. We kind of ripped through these questions, but I mean, me and Shelby both talk really fast. It happens. AZ, my mic is connected. I think it's just going out. I probably should put in my Amazon wish list another gaming helmet or another gaming mic where I could probably replace this one. By the next interview, I will have another mic. I promise.
On my end, I hear you just fine.
Okay. There's 2 people that always have questions, problems hearing me. It's her and Gma. So I wonder if they're using maybe Bluetooth. Gma usually it's her Bluetooth is going dead. She can't hear me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably do need to get another one because the fluff on my headset's starting to wear through. So Ziv says, not to mention you can get a 500cc or less bike that will sip gas. Maybe when battery tech gets to a point and gas gets hard to find, expensive enough, tough sell for now, aside from the novelty. Yeah, I think it's probably what your belief system is. If you really want bikes, if people really want the electric bikes to succeed, more people will buy them, and then there'll be more money circulating in the system. So the more people that actually buy into them, I think the technology will get better. So I guess you just gotta see.
When the world goes around like Mad Max style, and there's no gasoline to be had, how are we going to charge our shit when there's no power either?
We go back to pedaling. I did see a really funny article the other day about wind sail. They're making wind turbines for ships now, where ships can cross the ocean on wind power. And I'm like, wow, what a novel idea!
Right?
We've been doing that for 1,000 years. So
yeah,
somebody finally stepped up, and yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Dave Howard is asking, what bike is the best ever, in your opinion, made?
You really want that answer?
Sure.
Triumph Daytona 955i.
I should have guessed that from your email. All right.
I will have another one. I'm working on it.
Well, they are sweet bikes. I think anyone I've ever seen has been white. I know they come in red, but anyone I've ever seen out in the wild has been a white one.
Yeah.
Is that really the only color they come in?
Nope. Strontium yellow. They came in red, black, silver, blue. Like kind of like that grab blue of the newer cars that are all these fucking baby blue cars that are running around. They had a color like that back in 1999.
Yeah. All I've ever seen right here is the white one, but I have seen a silver one. So I guess I have seen more than one color. But if anyone else has any questions, throw them down in the comments now. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, when you put a big bore on that Sportster.
I've actually decided that the Sportster I'm going to keep for fun. I don't know, man. I keep saying I'm not going to do anything to it, and then I just keep adding things to it. So now I put lights on it, I put forward controls on it, I put front pairing on it, I put a rear turn signals on it, the digital front LEDs on it. So I keep adding things to it. So maybe one day I will. If I keep it long enough, I probably will.
Why not?
Have to see. Yeah, I mean, eventually. The bad thing, and I've said this before, so the bad thing about the Sportster is the same thing that's a good thing about the Sportster. It's so easy to change things.
Yeah.
And it's like a Lego set. It's so easy to pull things off and put things on because everything's right there in the open. I think Josh said that about the Evos the other day. They're just so easy to work on. It's so easy to change.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, I wish they had, somebody said they do, but a six-speed transmission. Somebody said there was a cartridge you could put in to make it a 6-speed.
Not on your bike, on the older ones.
On the older ones, okay.
You have to split cases to do yours.
All right.
The older sportsters like Shays and Josh, they had a cassette type transmission. You could pull it out without having to disassemble the engine and split the cases.
I'm shit out of luck, I guess.
Mm.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to step up to the Road Glide then.
Yep.
I did like that Road Glide Limited, but I like that Sportster too. So
Sportsters are fun around town because they're light, easy to maneuver.
I did want to try to take that one too. So JD, Josh from JD and the Queens, lives like 3 hours from me. So I'm actually planning on taking that Sportster on a trip. I think I've made it comfortable enough. Put the C bars on it, got some bags on it. I might actually take that. I just want to take it on a trip that's longer than just riding it to work and riding it around here for a couple hours. So we'll see.
Do it.
We'll see.
Do
We'll
it.
see how long I can take it. I know some people have taken them all the way from like Ohio down to Florida, but after being on that 1600, being on the BMW, I think I'm a little spoiled.
I would say.
I'm absolutely spoiled. It was Josh's fault.
Blame you.
I've told Josh before the reason I got that bike was because I saw his Vegas video when he went to Vegas. I was bouncing between the Goldwing and that K16, and after seeing that video, I'm like, that's the bike I want. And then I went to I was going to test drive the Honda, and they wouldn't let me test drive one. And I went to BMW, and they're like, get on it, let's go.
Yeah.
And they put me on it and let me drive it. And when I came back, I'm like, I'm not getting off this bike. I'm taking it home.
I've never understood that about the metric bikes where their manufacturers, they won't let you test ride it. Like, really, I'm going to spend 20 grand, 30 grand on a bike I can't ride it first for an hour or so? That's
it used to be the other way around. It used to be Harley wouldn't be the one that wouldn't let you on the bikes. Now Harley's like, take it for a ride.
Yeah, and everything, like, ride it, go ahead.
Yeah, because they know once you put your butt, car dealerships used to be the same way. They knew once you got in that car and drove it, you were going to buy it. And they would let you take it home for the weekend. I remember back in the 90s, you go to test drive a car, they're like, take it home for the weekend, tell us what you think. Because they knew once you got that thing home and your neighbors saw it and you put it in your garage, you'd be like, well, it fits perfectly. I'm taking it home.
Yeah.
So, and now...
Go home, look at it in the garage, rub one out. That's mine now.
Yep.
I'm keeping that one.
Once you put the bus wet in, it's yours.
Yep.
Dry Heat Doug is asking, if you could race any track in the world, which one would it be?
Laguna. All day. I want to hit the corkscrew so bad.
That is a cool track. I used to love to watch MotoGP, and it was it's not the same as it used to be, I guess, probably because Nicky Hayden used to be my favorite rider, and even when he stopped racing, I watched for a while, and of course Monkey Boy, which my Valentino Rossi, I loved watching him race, and now it seems like you just can't. I don't know. I hate to say it like this, but it seems like everybody has the same name, and it's always the same. People floating it. There's no competition to it anymore. They just get out there and they race, and it's become kind of impersonal.
Yeah.
So
Moto America is probably my favorite series. Superbikes and the hooligans and the baggers and whatnot. Racing in America is far and away better than anywhere else in the world right now.
Yeah. I still like Superbike.
Yep.
I do like the Superbike. Doug is asking, what's your best motorcycle tire brand? I could probably preclude this and say whatever works best on your bike. I mean,
Michelin.
on the Harley, I think that the Dunlops work best, but I think on the BMW, the Metzelas work best. And I think it's not a brand thing. It's just that's what works best on that bike.
And it's also personal preference. I'm a Michelin guy. That's all I run personally. As long as I can find the right size tires, because I got oddballs on my Seiko. It took me like 3 hours to find tires to fit that damn thing, and I went with Dunlops.
Josh says still lets people bring bikes home for the weekend to think about it.
Yeah.
Again, once you get your butt in it.
That's it. If you keep it for a whole weekend, you're keeping it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you don't immediately bring it back and go, I want to try something else. No, you're keeping that one.
If you're loving it up, take it home for the weekend, you're probably going to buy it.
Mm-hmm. You already had your mind made up before you freaking even went to the dealership at that point.
Oh, yeah. Anybody else got any questions? Throw them in there now. Got any more questions for me?
Not at the moment.
So if you could build any bike, any parts at your disposal, and you could have any parts at your disposal, what kind of bike would you build?
Probably something to just straight up do wheelies at 100 miles an hour on.
Okay, so what kind of bike would that be? We're talking sports.
Probably something like a Gixxer 1000, just because, I want to squid it. Why not?
Yeah. So do you still have that TL?
Sorry about the background. I'm at the shop still. I'm going to do it on a TL. I hate the rear suspension on it. It's got a rotary damper, and I don't know why they ever put that on there, but it's the biggest piece of junk in the world. The motor's great, but the rest of the bike, So I haven't decided what to do with it yet.
All right. We have come to the end. Shelby, you got some socials you want to throw out there? So you are gonna start making videos again, right? Because you got a new camera.
Maybe someday. I gotta get a new camera, but like I said, I usually just don't have time. Maybe someday though.
Okay. All right.
Someday I'll get this thing off my lip.
That's Josh's fault too.
Yeah.
Alright, so does he have, other than the engine, does he have anything special planned for that bike? Or Josh, do you want to save that as a surprise?
Nah, it'll be a surprise.
Okay. I guess we'll find out in October.
There's something, make people go, ooh, ah.
So, is he going to get a new paint job, or is he going to keep the barf party paint job?
You'll have to ask him that one, but I think I know where he's going to go with it.
I think the red and black has become kind of iconic, but I guess change is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it is iconic at this point, so.
It is iconic. So switching gears says thanks for all you do, and obviously you become a big part of the Brap Star garage and the JHU Army because you literally keep half the bikes there living and breathing. So thanks from all of us. Josh says just know that thing is going to be badass, and I absolutely believe it.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and close out. You got any closing remarks?
Nope. I gotta get back to work.
All right, guys, he's got to go back to work. So like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and if you guys want to, if you want to go into my YouTube, I am collecting donations for the Boo Boo unit that goes out during, some of you probably know this, but during the campouts, me and Parker the Coyote are the medics out there. We take care of people and bandage people up. So if you guys want to help us out, go in there and buy some of the wish list for the medical kit. And
do it.
That's all we've got time for now. Thanks for coming by, everybody, and I will see you next weekend.